Thank you, everybody. Welcome to this webinar on outsourcing step by step, doing the freelance dance. And I'm delighted to have Howard Tiano as presenter for this. I've known Howard for a few months now, and been very impressed with his detailed knowledge and understanding well, of the internet market in general, but in particular of outsourcing. Got an excellent range of products, huge amount of experience, and we're in good company, or I guess I'm in good company because Howard is fairly selective in who he speaks for. So we're in the company of Mike Thursay, Harry Schwartz, Jeff Mills, and indeed Stompernet, all of whom have been honoured to have him as a speaker. So we are very lucky and fortunate to have him. And in his spare time, Howard doesn't work day and night in the internet marketing world. Through his outsourcing, he finds time to be a musician as well. So he's got an artistic side to him as well, which is great. So without going on any further, I will hand over control to Howard. And Howard, you're now the presenter.
I haven't seen the up. Okay, wait.
It's coming.
Here we go. I see it. Okay, do you see my screen?
I can, yep.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for having me, Alex. I sort of stumbled across you a few years back, and was always impressed with your sense of organization and your down-to-earthness, which was a breath of fresh air in the world of internet marketing. And so thanks for having me on board today, and I look forward to giving a lot of great content and answering all your attendees' questions. So I'm going to go through this at a pretty rapid pace. You will have a chance to on the replays, if you want to take notes on some of these slides, you can catch them on the replay. I'll leave them up as long as I can so you can take some notes, but I'll be departing from the PowerPoint and show you how I'm working live on some of my projects using my current favorite site, and we'll get into that in a bit. And this way I can get some work done and teach you guys at the same time. So it seems like a win-win. I'm calling this outsourcing step-by-step because there is a step-by-step procedure, and the freelance dance part of that is that there's a lot of different sites out there that are good that specialize in particular areas, and the idea is you have to weed through a lot of people to find your superstars. So we're going to go through that process now. I know somebody had asked that question in the pre-webinar Q&A that Alex was getting. So we'll just dive right in, shall we? So as Alex had mentioned, let's see. Yeah, I am a musician. In fact, was a musician long before an internet marketer, and so that's my offline business as well. So I still do that on the weekends and have some fun and let off some steam. And I sort of came upon this idea to create a persona and came out with the Outsourcer, which when I'm in the character, I sort of take on this little Winston Churchill accent, although Alex is going to cringe at it when I say the Outsourcer, kind of thing. So,
but I recommend go and see the Outsource Outtakes site. When I first saw it, I was really taken by it. It's absolutely excellent. A good example of very smart, clever, and effective marketing, by the way. So that's a site not to miss.
Yeah, those are 1 to 2 minute little brief outsourcing video tips from all the gurus that you know and love so well. So you'll see sort of a little marquee, a slide, a passing slideshow of all the different people I've interviewed, you know, over the years. So and I have a few other products that I've created on outsourcing, easy outsource videos. I'll talk about that a little bit later. The Ultimate Outsource Directory and the Local Biz Marketers Toolkit, which I launched with Howie Schwartz, which was based around outsourcing blueprints for the Internet Business Consultant. So that's a little bit about me. Enough about me. Let's get into the meat here. So first I want to just go through a little bit of groundwork here, make sure we're all on the same page, and sort of define the difference between outsourcing versus outtasking. Okay. Wikipedia's definition is utilizing experts from outside the entity, be that you or your company, to perform specific tasks that the entity once performed itself. I don't know about that last part. I don't think that you necessarily have to have performed it yourself, but that's Wikipedia. And it also refers to the delegation of non-core operations, and how that applies to the solopreneur or the one-man shop is that, you know, everybody's got their strengths, and you know, maybe you make great videos, maybe you're really a great writer, maybe you're really great on the graphics end. So everybody's got a strength or a secret sauce that really differentiates you from the rest of the marketplace, and that's not something you want to delegate. You want to delegate some of the more mundane, repetitive tasks. And outsourcing is generally when you have tasks or jobs on a longer-term basis. Like if you have an accountant or you have a car repair guy, all that's outsourcing. You go to the dentist. You know, you're not learning how to fix your own teeth. You're outsourcing that to somebody else. You know, they talk about more of a longer-term basis. And some examples of this, you know, search engine optimization. You may have content creators that you work with, article writers, video people, webmaster, things like this. You can see that list there. Link building is a task that you may have on a steady basis. That's outsourcing. As opposed to outtasking, which is more of shorter-term project basis. For instance, if you need a header for a website, or you need you just need a script modified, or things like that. It's like a one-shot thing. That's more outtasking. And you know, commonly a great place to start is for tasks that you dislike doing or are not good at, and more importantly, not worth your time to do. You know, when you start with tasks that you dislike doing, there's an immediate emotional mindset payoff. You know, you get this, you know, for instance, if you hate writing, you know, you hate writing, and you feel you have to keep creating content or blog posting and stuff, and you can get that off your plate right away, you're going to feel, great weight has been taken off my shoulder. There's an immediate benefit, which is good, not only with the benefit, but it keeps you in the game and moving forward. Now you say, great, you did that. Now I'll try outsourcing this or that. You know, you'll because you want to go little by little, get your feet wet, and then as you expand the types of things and tasks that you outsource. Also, hiring experts in a particular skill set will yield you better and faster results. How many people have tried to do their own header graphic, and it sort of looks okay, but it looks a little clunky, you know, it looks a little amateurish. And you know, maybe you spend 2 hours doing it. Well, you know, you can outsource a header banner on one of the forums, you know, like Warrior Forum or SitePoint for $20 and get an awesome job. Is it really worth your time to be sitting there struggling learning how to do it? You know, and obviously it frees your time to do more higher level revenue generating activities. Okay, so the outtasking, here's some examples of jobs to outtask. Script installation, graphics packages, website design, things like that. And one thing to keep in mind is outtasking is just the first stage of finding and building your virtual team, okay? Once you found a guy that you want, that does great work for you at a reasonable price, you want to keep them on your team. You don't have to now go through the posting on the sites and the whole selection process and stuff. Now you just directly contact your team member and send him the particulars of your job. It's a lot smoother. Okay. At the beginning, you know, there's a process to get your virtual team and find your superstars, and I'll be going over that in a few minutes. And along the way, you need to systematize your business processes. Okay, essentially that means that, you know, you have to take what you're doing and chunk it down into tasks. For instance, if you're into creating affiliate niche blogs, okay? So you need obviously the blog installed, set up, any special niche header that you want on there. You want some content placed on there, maybe some videos. You want some AdSense or banners, you know, for affiliate products. Whatever it is, your process, you want to systematize that and say, okay, step 1, blah blah blah. Step 2, you put in the header. Step 3. You know, add content, you know, add this article, you know. So you want to make it a step-by-step procedure. This way you can definitely hand it off, and as you get feedback, let's say the first time you send these instructions, you know, it's not quite what you wanted. They didn't quite get the part about this. So now you go in your instructions and you tweak it, you modify it until you've got it so that you can send out these instructions and you get it back just exactly the way you want it every time. So until you get a part, then you can let it go and you can keep building on it like that. Okay, why outsource? You know, some of them are obvious, but there's other things. For instance, you're not paying benefits. You can hire as many or as few as you want. You get access to expertise you don't have in-house. They're already trained, and I put a question mark because you know, there's always some training to be done. You know, for some of these things, because everybody has some things that they want done in a particular way. Now, if it's something like a script install or, you know, things like that, that's more standardized, and you're hiring people that have those skills ahead of time. No downtime, okay? You don't want to depend on one person to be, you know, doing a particular thing. You want to have at least 2 or 3, preferably, that and in different geographic areas. You know, if the Philippines gets hit by another typhoon, you know, that knocked out a lot of people's businesses for months. You know, they had to scramble to find other people to do it. So you want to have people in different time zones, not only because of the geography of it, but also for the working convenience. You know, everybody's talking about the Philippines, and you know, I happen to be a night owl, but really, if someone's doing 9 to 5 in the Philippines, they're 13 hours ahead of us. That's 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So, you know, that may not be convenient for you because, you know, you're going to have, you know, they're going to hit maybe, especially early on, they're going to hit the wall as far as having a question that they can't continue, and you're nowhere to be found. You're sleeping, and they're sort of stuck. So there's things like that to consider as well. And, of course, it allows you to concentrate on your core business. When should you consider? Some people say, well, you know, I'm not there yet. I don't want to, I can't afford it. Well, the thing is to start early. You don't want to be so bogged down and stressed out that now you need to get some tasks done, and you need to get some tasks done, and now you have a deadline, and now you're scrambling. You're going to make some bad choices as far as hiring goes. So I would say the time to start is now, okay? Even if it's getting a little thing done and getting familiar with the outsourcing sites and just feeling more comfortable in the process. Low-skill, repetitive tasks, okay? Site promotion is the first place you should start, and that could be link building, that could be some SEO, directory submissions, things like that. You shouldn't be doing yourself. And then once you start systemizing your processes, you know, you should systemize processes that the cost of doing it. For instance, if you're doing affiliate niche blogs, for instance, you do a blog, you know that in 30 days you're going to be up to $1 a day, and after 60 days you'll be making $10 a day. You know, that kind of thing will start covering your costs. So keep that in mind as you decide what to outsource first. Okay, where do we find these folks? Okay, let me first sort of give you the categories that we've got. You know, there are in-house employees that you can have. Interns, people that will work for you for free for a certain amount of time in exchange for experience and knowledge. You know, they get paid as subcontractors. You can find these people as college students. Some retirees have the skills and the desire to learn new skills and such. Work-at-home moms, you know, they need some flexibility. They got to take care of kids and whatnot. So they're great as virtual assistants or content creators. Even disabled workers, you know, there are people that maybe can't get around, so they have a difficulty working in the general workforce, but they can certainly, you know, work on a computer for you, and they're happy to do it. So those are some ideas for and it doesn't have to be in-house. It can be, you know, virtually as well. And then the next category is the freelancers, the virtual teams. And these are folks that are in the freelance marketplace, like Odesk, Guru, Elance, Rent-A-Coder, Scriptlance, the forums I mentioned before. Warrior Forum's a great place. Scriptlance, I meant SitePoint forum as well. And then there's the job boards, like everybody's maybe heard of bestjobs.ph for Filipinos. There, you have to be, they've stopped giving accounts to Americans. You can't really post. You can set up an account, but that means you can't post the job. You have to go looking at people's resumes and contacting them directly for that. So they don't like to I don't know, whatever. I don't consider it a real job if someone's, you know, working virtually. So that's the story with that site. Okay, then there's managed outsourcers where you have a place like Agents of Value that actually has like a big boiler room, and they have several people working on their clients' tasks, and they're managed. And you can find these places as well. They, you know, on some of these bidding sites, some of them are not individuals; they're companies. So, you know, which there are pros and cons of using companies. Well, in the one sense, you know, if some guy, you know, his mother's sick and he has to leave town and, you know, go out into the mountains to take care of a sick mom, and you know, stuff like this happens all the time. You know, they're people. People have stuff happens. So, you know, if you have a company, you're a little bit more protected. They can hand your account off to someone else, and your job still goes on. But if you have, like, for instance, writers that are that specialize in certain areas, then it's a little harder to just, you know, stick somebody else in their place. So, and then there's business process. These are places that will do your tasks as a big chunk. You don't have to manage them. You can just say, okay, you know, there's a package of services. They'll build X amount of links for you. They'll submit X amount of articles. They'll create videos. They just do a whole package of services. And typically, you know, that's more costly, but you get the benefit of not having to micromanage your outsourcers. You know, micromanaging them is the biggest. Is one of the bigger pitfalls on that, because you know, you get sometimes, you know, it's all wonderful and great. Oh, I can get somebody for $2 an hour. Yeah, but they don't know what they're doing, and you have to spend more time training them and correcting them. So sometimes that's not the best choice. And another thing I'll mention about the Filipino thing is that a lot of these people want to work part-time or full-time. Part-time meaning like, you know, 20 hours a week, 40 hours a week for full-time. Well, unless you have your business systemized, you're going to be constantly having to come up with tasks for them to do, And if you're a person with a normal schedule, if you want to, give them their tasks for the day at 10 p.m. at night, and then go to sleep at midnight or 1 a.m., they're hoping that they have enough work to keep them through to the end of the day, or if they have any questions, it doesn't stop them. Or, there was a time where I had full-time, Filipinos, several, and, I was constantly thinking, oh, what are they doing today? Oh, I have to come up with stuff for them to do. So I spent my days, feeding them tasks rather than having it all systemized and laid out so that it goes on autopilot. So that's an important point before you start thinking about hiring a full-timer. Even though it sounds attractive for the price, you want to start hiring them on either a short-term task basis or on an hourly basis. That's where we're going to start talking about the site. I'm going to show you how that is managed, because you think, oh, how am I going to hire them for an hour on an hourly basis? How do I know they're really working? That's taken care of in this site. So I'll carry on. Odesk is the site I'm talking about, and these are some of the things that we're going to talk about with Odesk. Odesk has some very interesting technology that makes managing many virtual workers easy and possible and very under control, especially in terms of knowing whether they're working or not. There's a very unique solution to that. Okay, so we're going to cover posting, because what you post, you have to write a killer job description so that they are attracted to your job. A lot of the more experienced people are looking at the listings of jobs, and they're going to look at something that's going to attract them, or that, oh, I can do that, or is appealing to them on a different level. And then how to find the top people. You can invite people. You don't have to just wait for them to bid. You can seek out the top people on the site, or for your particular area that you want to have done, and you can find the top people on that. And then how to review them and select them and hire them. And then we get into the managing of them. And you can see from the slide there's some interesting things that we're going to get into, and then paying them and leaving feedback. Before we go live on the sites, I just want to get into a little bit of the selection process. And I call it panning for gold, because that's what you're really doing. You're sifting through a lot of different candidates that may have bid on your job, and how to get the best people using that technique. Okay, the first thing I'd say is don't go with the lowest bids. It's tempting, but typically, you get what you pay for. There are people that are not experienced, that give a low-ball price so they can get some feedback. Feedback, for those of you that don't know, on these sites, you'll be able to see other people who have hired them. They leave feedback, and they have a rating system. So you can get a good idea of how good this person is by others' experience. And so, the person that's new to the game always wants to get some experience and get some feedback under his belt so that he can be considered. The chances are you may find somebody like a diamond in the rough that really is a great worker, but he's untried, untested, unproven. My advice is go with tried and true. Right now, you don't have time to muddle through, to determine whether somebody's good or not without having any feedback. That's another issue with using a job board like Best Jobs. Basically, you have a resume they've posted, and I don't know how many of you are in the corporate world who have had to present their resumes, but people fudging their resumes is a pretty common thing. They may enhance. Let's say they enhance their resumes, or as Alex may say, they enhance their resumes. So, so at any rate, so a lot of times when people are bidding on your jobs, you're going to find somebody that have read your project description and are responding on their ability to do what you need done. And then you get guys who are playing the numbers game and they're just going around cutting and pasting a canned response into your bid and figuring that they're going to get X amount of people that are going to just hire them. Maybe they just use a cut and paste and give a lowball figure, and they figure they'll get the job, and then they'll say, well, we ran into this problem, we need more money. So there's that game that you got to watch out for. So to combat that, we have what we call sort of a code word that we use. I originally got this from Mike Filsaime and his 7-figure code. And what he would do is in his project posts, he would say in the middle of the post of his project description, he would say, you must use the word butterfly in your response, your bid response. This way I know you've read the project post. And if they don't use that, if you don't use that word, you will be disqualified immediately. So this weeds out the people who haven't really read your post or your project description. And you want that immediately weeds out the people who are not thorough enough to take the time to read your project description. That's the first line of filtering out people. And you'll find maybe 20% of the people actually do it. So that's your first line of sort of filtering out the canned responses. And then you'll find out they're responsive. You can post a question in a PMB, which is private message board. A lot of the sites like Elance and Rent-A-Coder have private message boards, or you can email them a question, and then obviously look at the ratings and read the comments. Language barrier, you'll find, most people have a basic working knowledge of English. If it's a writer, you obviously want a very good working knowledge of English, but I find that I'd like them to talk good enough English that I can have a conversation with them via Skype, and I can get my point across, because a lot of times it's a lot easier to have a conversation with somebody and say, okay, I want this, this, that, this, and this, rather than having to now type out the details and descriptions of exactly what you want. That's good too, but there's, it's always good to clarify it verbally. It's a lot quicker that way. Are some countries better than others? It used to be India was the main place to go, and then Tim Ferriss came out with 4-hour work week, and everybody started going to India, and I think all the Indians read this book and said, we're working too cheap. And so the prices on the Indians have gotten up there. They're English, they're educated, they have a work ethic, and I say that it varies. I mean, that's a stereotype, very general stereotype, and there's still, I find, some very good Indians. It depends on the person, and but certainly the Filipinos, and also they say, oh, it's unconscionable you're paying them $50. Well, their average pay there is $6 a day. So when you're paying, if you're paying $2 an hour times 8 hours, it's $16 a day. Is what the average real. A lot of things are a lot cheaper in the Philippines. So don't let you, compare it to American, cost of living. It's definitely, the money is good. Okay, and then you get a chance to look at the samples and portfolios of their work. That's you'll find that on Elance, you'll find that on Odesk. Rent-A-Coder, not so much. Scriptlance, not so much. They don't really have a portfolio feature, and I like the portfolio feature. And we talked about this company versus an individual. Having a company, you can sort of protect yourself against somebody leaving or having an emergency. And now here's the 3-for-1 methodology. I find it's more like 5-for-1 these days. And that is if you have a particular task done, you hire 5 people to do the same task. Let's say, you know, you want to put up a squeeze page. Let's say it's a video squeeze page. So now you got them working with video, you got them working with HTML and putting up a squeeze page for you. You know, you assign people, 5 people, the same job. Okay, you'll find, you know, 1 or 2 people are not even going to bother to complete the job. They're just going to crap out on you. Maybe 2 people will do an okay job. It's all right, but there's some hiccups and things didn't come out exactly right. And then you'll find 1 guy that did it perfectly. Okay, that's the guy you want on your team. You know, it may cost you a little more up front, but the aggravation and the time that you're going to save by assigning this to several people at the same time is going to be well worth it, because next time, now you don't have to go through this process. You just go right to the person. Whereas if you went consecutively, you tried 1 guy, crapped out on you, tried another guy, it was okay, another guy. Now weeks are going by and you're getting frustrated, you can't find anybody to do it right. The chances are you're going to just say, oh, this isn't working. Whereas, you know, you just have to go, it's a fact of life. You have to go through, it's the 80-20 rule. You know, 20% of the people are going to, you know, give you 80% of production. 20% of people are going to be good. You know, so that's an important one. That tip kept coming up a lot in the outsourcing outtakes that I did. A lot of the gurus suggested that or similar to that. And again, the idea is to build a team. You don't want to have to keep running to the freelance sites every time you want to get a job done. Okay, so we're running on time. I know I'm going kind of fast, but I think we're pacing good. Everybody still cool out there, Alex? You getting some questions?
No more questions so far.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
we'll keep on rocking and rolling here. Okay, so I'm going to just show you some screenshots from Odesk, and then I'm going to jump in and actually do some work and show you how easy it is to do this thing. This is a team room, and this allows you to see, for instance, who is working. All these squares here. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but these squares represent people that are actually working. So you're seeing a little webcam shot of them in the corner. You're seeing if it's green, that means they're actually there working. If they're not working. They're not present at the time. So let's say you've got these 2 guys who are working. So you see a little screenshot of them, you know, working at their computer. And here's on the screen itself is your job. They're working on your job. And these little graphs here, this green light means this is sort of a keyboard activity graph. This means that shows the activity on their keyboard. So they're not just having your screen up and then, you know, eating lunch. They're there, and you see the keyboard activity on this little graph here. So this also allows you to chat with them if you want to jump in and say, hey, you know, how's it going, whatever. And also above it, it has a little description of actually what they're working on. So as you can see, this person's got 6 people, you know, on their team. Right now, 2 people are currently working. The red dot means that they're not there. So and the time, you see, the time is in their time zone. He's got 1 person that's in a different time zone, and everybody else seems to be in the same time zone. And you can manage these guys from one area. You can also bring that same excuse me, functionality into a desktop widget. So you can be, you know, working on your stuff, and this little widget is sitting on the side, and you can communicate with them, or check up and see how they're doing. And they have an iPhone app, so you can literally run your business from your iPhone. That's right, you can manage your business from your iPhone. I think that's pretty awesome. You can also, there's iPhone Skype app where you can also do chat, and you can speak to them for the cost of, you know, the Skype, you know, Skype charges. So there's a lot of great ways in technology now to really make this easy and give you the most flexibility in managing people. The work diaries, remember I told you about, are they knowing if they're working or not and what they're working on, and if you're hiring by the hour. Here is a blow-by-blow. Every 9 minutes or so, they're getting there's a screenshot happening of your worker's desktop. This is one particular worker, and here you'll see, this is their screen, so you can see what they're working on. You can see the keyboard activity level. Here on the red dots, they're logged off. Here, they're actually working on tasks, and here's a couple of lines about exactly what they're working on. And if they're inactive, you'll see the yellow. They're still logged on, but they're inactive. They're on a bathroom break or whatever. And the cool thing is that the reporting is done based on the time that they're actually working. So you don't have to monitor them and take their word for it that they work between this hour and this hour. Odesk will monitor that for you, and you pay in fractional hours. So you're only paying for the time they're actually working. It's really made hiring by the hour workable and controllable, and so you can trust what's going on. It's verifiable, and so that's a great way to get started. You can just you can hire somebody for a small task and pay them by the hour, and be done. So $10, $20 or so, you can get some tasks done, and so hiring five guys maybe cost you $100 to do a task, and now you've found your guy, and then, now you can go forward at a much reduced cost because you found your superstar. So okay, so before we get into the project management stuff, let's go live on the sites, and let me show you how easy this can be. So here's the Odesk interface. They have some video tours, and they have a really good help center. And I'm gonna make this a little larger. I don't know if you can. Is that better, Alex?
What are you trying to achieve?
I just increased the size of the text
okay,
so that it will be easy. Okay,
that's
cool.
Good.
Okay, so let's go into. Well, let me show you posting a job. Okay, so let's post a job. I have 3 projects I want to sort of show you, and in different stages of the process. So this way, I can actually post the project live, and you can see how easy it is. Okay, so the cool thing about it is you'll notice they have a little pop-up explaining what each the best ways to fill out each box. Okay, so this particular job I want to do, is an Aweber script integration with a WordPress database. This is for so when they sign up via an Aweber form, it also logs them into a secure, protected content area. So I need to integrate that script. Okay, public. I want to have this public so that everybody on the site can see it. I don't want to make it visible to the search engines. Invite only is if you just have a particular person that you want to invite. Now you could bring workers that you already use and bring them to Odesk so that you can monitor their hourly work as well. Odesk charges 10% of the payment as their fee for using their platform. Okay. So here we go, Aweber scripts, and now we have to pick a category. I would say this is software development and scripts and utilities. Okay, skills. I would say WordPress, PHP. That should do it. Description, I've already written out a description of exactly what I need done. So I am going to cut and paste this. Let's talk about this description first, because I want to point out a couple of things. Okay, so I talk about what I need. I give particulars of what I need. I'm giving links to the pages that I'm talking about. I explain I need an opt-in form placed on the existing registration page, blah, blah, blah. And I give the URL of the plugin that I'm referring to that I have to integrate with Aweber. I explain what I want it to do, how I want it to do it. You know, here, okay, here's where I talk about that code word. So you must include the word jawbone at the top of your bid reply so that I know you have read this project post thoroughly. Any bidders without this word will be rejected immediately. Okay? So that you'll see how that works in a moment too. But that will eliminate 80% of your people that aren't really paying attention. And you know, this is all about the details. So if they're not catching this, you're going to constantly be going back and correcting them, saying, "Oh, you missed this part about my description of the job." And another thing, and this I performed years ago. This should be a pretty simple job for those that know what they're doing. An Aweber tutorial, okay, and that's the phrase, okay, because you know it appeals to the ego of the worker. They think, well, hell, I know what I'm doing, you know. So this should be a simple job. And what happens is psychologically you'll get them to bid lower. You know, the cool thing about the bidding, this whole bidding thing, is that, you know, it's not like an auction where everything's being bid up and up and up. They're bidding and things are going down, down, down. So the pricing is going lower and lower and lower. So because the freelancers are competing against each other for your job. So that's a cool thing. And I also included Aweber tutorials that deal with what I want them to do. So this way I've done half the research for them, and then they can take a look and say, oh, okay, this is really no big deal, and you know, this already helps them halfway getting the job done. So I've accomplished that with my project description. Also, this is not like you know, if you have like this really cool idea for some software that you want to have someone produce for you, don't put the cool idea in your project description, because what happens is there's marketers that just troll these sites, excuse me, for ideas. You know, so they're looking for some cool ideas. They say, oh, someone's working on some software that's going to do this and this. That's a good idea. They can then take that idea and run with it, and they'll probably get it to market faster than you will. So you got to be a little bit vague on some of the particulars of your idea, while still giving them enough detail so that they can you know, properly bid on your project. So okay, so I cut and paste my text in here. So here's my project description. We're going to go for this one. I would go with, I'm going to guess a fixed price. I'm going to go with that because I don't think that this is that big a deal, and I think I can get a better, you know, hourly. You know, if they hit a snag or so, then it's only going to eat up more time, where I gave them enough information that they can see how simple this job is. So I'm going to say $50 is what I'm going to bid at the top end. Estimated end date, I'm going to give it till Wednesday. Okay, so now advanced options. Here's where some of the magic takes place. Now, if you have something more particular about an idea or so, graphs or charts that you want to demonstrate, this is a good way to, you know, place that you upload that file. Okay. Now, here's some preferred qualifications. here's a really cool way to do this. Now, feedback score on Odesk, there's a star rating system, and it goes up to 5 stars being the best. So here you may want to limit the number of ratings to get the top scores. Okay, now notice they say 52,147 providers match these additional qualifications. Now, if I select the top feedback category, you'll see this number now changes. Okay, so we've eliminated, I think, from 52,000 to 5,000. We've eliminated 90% of the possible coders. Location. Now, if you're looking for somebody in the Philippines, you go with East Asia. You could go with India. India is pretty good for coders. Eastern Europe is pretty good. Romania, Bulgaria, those are good places for coders. Even the Russians are good on that. So if you want to limit it to that, if you can limit your location, or you can just put anywhere. I'm going to leave it to anywhere for this one. Now, tests, they have 310 tests that they can take to show their skill levels. Okay, awesome. So they really have a whole range of stuff. So you can say, okay, if I want them to be on WordPress, I want to make sure they have taken a WordPress test. So I'm going to say that. I want them that they must know WordPress pretty well for this one. So I'm going to find WordPress and make sure that they've passed the WordPress test. So now this is going to reduce it to 105 matches for just the WordPress test. So now we've brought it down to 49 people. Has a portfolio. For this thing, for a script, I would say it's not that important. If I was doing graphics, I would say it's very important. If I was doing getting a WordPress theme done or anything visual, I would say, yeah, that's important. I would insist on a portfolio. For a script, maybe I can. Let's see how far that brings it down. 12. Okay. So as you can see, we may have to open these, qualifications up a little bit if we're not getting enough providers. English level, I would say 4 out of 5. Let's see what that does to our, okay, that knocked a couple of more people off. And had hours billed on Odesk. We're going to say at least 1 hour. We want them to have been in the game, at least done something, okay, and that knocked out 1. So now I have 9 providers that match these qualifications. So I post this job opening, okay, and now my job is posted, okay. So, and you could share this on Facebook or Twitter if you want to, cast a wider net to get your job filled. Okay, the next thing, what's going to happen now is that, you leave this going for 2 or 3 days, and you'll start getting people bidding on your job. Now, here's one, the upgrading the Ultimate Outsource Directory project. Okay, I've got all the resources and basically need them to copy and paste these resources into my directory. Now, candidates 2, I had eliminated a lot of people. So you can see all this, update the Ultimate Outsource Directory, update, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so all these people didn't bother putting Jawbone in my project description. So I eliminated, I don't know how many people, a dozen people here. Okay, because I don't want somebody that can't take instruction, that doesn't that doesn't bother to read something carefully. So that's my first qualifier. So now I've got 2 that I have left with. Okay, and so here I'm clicking on my job, and these are the 2 people that are left. Okay. Is this? Can you read this, Alex, on your computer? Should I blow the screen up a little more?
That's for me.
Good. Okay. So I hope no one's watching this on their iPhone. Otherwise, okay. So, all right. So now let's dig in. We're going to get into the we're going to get into selecting. So we click on the one guy, and basically some information about him comes up. Is his title of stuff that he's good at. His bid is $55. Okay, he's Jawbone. Okay, so he came out with that, and he gives us a little bit, about his qualifications. Okay, this may be a little cut and paste here, but he put Jawbone. That's good enough for me. He read it. Okay, so now if you see on the selection page, gives his price, $10 an hour. You can see his feedback for all time and the last 6 months. So he's logged in 433 hours in the last 6 months and 7 assignments. Okay. Okay, his English skills at 4.0. So now here's our work history and feedback tab, and you can see this is he's currently got 2 people that are continuing to use him on a steady basis. From last month, he's putting 17 hours. So it's not like a whole full-time thing, but he's got a couple of clients that are happy enough with him to continue using. So here's what the job title was. You can click on this and look further at it. And you've got to read the comments. You can see it's all 5-star ratings. Excellent work completed, everything very timely, without a doubt a brilliant programmer. I find it hard to give words that adequately describe my gratitude for his work ethic and technical, I mean, this is awesome feedback, okay? He fixed it, suggested other improvements. This is the kind of feedback that you want in a worker, okay? $10 a little on the high side, but you're not going to have aggravation and issues, okay? Especially on a smaller project. Here's his tests. He took a WordPress test, scored 97% on it in the top 10%. So you can see the tests he's done, and he's got a portfolio, and you can look through his portfolio. His resume, okay, and then the basic overview. He gives a little blurb about himself. Excuse me, and so that's a great way of looking at digging in to see what a provider can do. So let's go back. Let's take a look at the other provider, and this guy has similar, he did Jawbone, okay, allow me for an interview. Okay, interview allows, you can schedule a time where you can get on Skype with them and discuss what you want to see if they, you guys can communicate. And here you can interview, you can hire them or reject them, okay. You can also make them a favorite, which on some of these I did because I like his skills. He's got a little less than 5. Somebody didn't like him at some point. 4.5. So you can mouse over this. Somebody gave him 4 stars on skills, quality, and communication. So no one's perfect. This certainly is within the range of an excellent provider. And he's 667, so he's 2/3 the price of the other guy. His tests, call center, not a lot of tests. He's not done that. His portfolio, a little less relevant to what I want. So my inclination is to go with the other guy, but I've tagged him as a favorite so that I can look at what he's done. So I can reject him from here, or I can just reject him from the main screen. Sometimes you'll get 20 people that have bid on your job, and you know right away that you don't want the person. They don't maybe have no feedback or low feedback. So for Fayez, I am going to reject. They ask for a reason. And I would just say just preferred other applicants. It's not, you know. Okay, so now I'm going to hire Wakaz. Okay, so so I'm going to, once again, I am going to hit the hire button. Okay, okay, I'm going to hand the screen over to you for a second while I put in my password. I'm going to hit stop showing screen for a second.
Okay.
Okay, can you not see my screen?
That's right. We cannot see your screen. You're safe.
I'm safe. I don't want anybody hiring my guys. Actually, it just came up as doc, so we're cool. All right, so I'm going to continue. Made me re-enter my password. Okay, and leave open. No, I'm going to close this job. And title, you can give a title for the role that they're going to. You know, this is really data entry. And start date immediately. I understand. Blah blah blah. Confirm hire. So now he's notified that he's hired. Okay, so now I will email him if we email him as far as giving him the documents he needs to do the job. And you can keep track of it by going to assignments, and here is our man. Okay, so finally this other project, I'm going to end this project. He delivered the goods, and it's time to end this particular job. So I'm going to click on Ezekiel. Okay, and I can give a bonus if I want, and I can end assignment here. Okay, after the assignment is ending, it's just warning you about what you'll be able to do or not do. Yes, I want to continue ending this assignment. And once again, they ask me for feedback. Job was completed successfully. Skills, I'm giving them a 4 on the skills and the quality. Everything else was fine. So now I can leave. A little bit of feedback. Okay, and I want to correct my spelling. Excuse me for my typing, and I'm ending assignment. Okay, so that's we went into posting a job here. We went into hiring a provider, and we went into closing up a job. And a couple other things I want to show you on here. You know, they have messages, account alerts, updates. Let's say you want to, we talked about finding the top guys, top providers. Let me show you how to do that. We're going to go into Find Providers, click on Trends. And here is a page of different topics. So you can look at the trends. Let's say SEO. You want to see what the trends are in SEO. So here's the number of SEO jobs billed per month, or excuse me, posted. So you can see it's a pretty sharp rise year over year. And if you scroll down, you can see top SEO programmers. These are the guys that are getting the top, you know, the top jobs here. Look at the hours, 11,000 hours, almost a perfect feedback score. And here's your top people right here. Here's the top scorers as well. So you know that all these folks are going to do a good job for you. They've got great scores. You can click on them and see their profile page. You know what we looked at before. So you could do this for all the different, all the different providers. If you wanted to look at, somebody who's good at Facebook marketing, they have all kinds of things here. So that's really cool. One thing I want to show you also is if you can find a provider, for instance, let's say you want to do a WordPress blog, okay? So you type in WordPress, your keywords, and anybody that has WordPress in the title of his listing is something that you want, because you want that at least are good enough with it that they are putting WordPress in their title. See how it is here, WordPress, WordPress. So now if you look here, this is 2,608 people fit that criteria. Okay, so you can go more, and you can again select which tests were passed. You can select categories. Let's say web development. It'll show you. They'll bring it down to 2,100. So you knock 500 off the things there. Feedback score. Again, let's say you want the top feedback score. Okay, now we're down to 639 providers. Okay. Hourly rate, you can slide up. Let's say you want him like, maximum, from $10 to max. Okay, so it's $10 as a minimum on up. So here now we're at 467. Minimum hours billed. Again, we can select one, and we just keep narrowing down our thing. Let's say you want the Filipinos, go to East Asia. Now we got 53. Okay. Provider type, individuals and affiliates. Affiliates is companies. Either way is fine. Latest activity, you could say someone who's more active recently. English level, again, if you want to go 4 stars on the English. Now, we don't mean the British accent, we mean English. I love Raz and Alex there. Okay, and it is Odesk ready. I think that just means that, they've got the software installed, they've done their homework there. So now we've got 50 providers. Now you can look, and if you have a particular job in WordPress that you want, you can look at all these guys, and you can favorite them. You can look at their profiles, contact them, and hire them based on that. So that's how you can really niche out your search results and filter out to the people that you want. If you want to go with the Filipinos, and you can deal with the time zone issues, that's this is a way to find it. It's a lot. I think a lot better finding it on sites like this, jobs, and having to depend on what they say in their resume, number one. Number two, you're still going to do a vetting process to see who's a flake, who's not, who's available, who, whatever, negotiate the terms, So also these sites have payment methods. They have escrow so that the provider feels secure that they're going to get paid, and you feel secure that you're not going to have to pay a provider that didn't do the right job. That's why it's good keeping the interaction and any messages on site, so you can have messages going back and forth on this. See here, someone said that they don't think that this job could be finished in 2 hours. Well, she bailed on the job. I did it myself as for an example in 2 hours to show others, and the other guy did it for 2 hours. So this is not a person I would want to hire anyway. So but this just goes to show you keep everything in house. So I hope that was really helpful as far as working with Odesk. I think they've got a great setup. One more thing I want to show you on the here's a team room and work diary. Let's go to the work diary. Actually, let's go to reports. I want to show you how the reporting is, and let's go for okay. So they have for a particular date range the last week, and you can see here let me make it a little higher, that here is by, I guess, what, like a hundredth of a second, a hundredth of a minute. So you're actually only paying for exactly the time you're actually doing something. Okay, so you know it's down to the 100th of an hour. That's what it is. So it's pretty awesome, and we're pretty blown up here. Let's see. Okay, so now there's analyze. You know, you see percentages. Work was, but I want to be more of a live example of a cool function on this. Let's see, I think this, and then select which worker.
Will we have a few minutes for questions at the end?
Yeah, I'm just finishing up on this. It's worth.
Yeah.
This. Yeah. You have a question now? Let me finish this section.
No,
so
just finish off. They're just questions, but just wanted to make sure you were at the end.
No. Okay, so you can click on this work diary screen, and now you get a full screen view of exactly what he's doing. Here's the screenshot, and you can start a slideshow, you can zip down. What the heck is this? Apparently, like, I didn't see this. He's like looking at his Facebook page. All right, see, this is the kind of stuff you find when you go to the room. He's like on his Facebook page. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, my work is down below. He's like looking at his Facebook page. Okay, there you go. Expose. All right. So, let's get back to the oops. Okay, let's get back to where we were at. Any questions so far on what we covered?
Howard, yeah, Bill, fairly early on, I think you probably answered it. He said you in Odesk is a better outsourcing management resource than things like Elance and Rent-A-Coder.
Yes.
Yeah. I think.
You know, I still use Render. I don't use Elance much anymore. They have like a $50 minimum, and I think the interface is very cumbersome. I mean, you saw how easy it was going through the processes here. With Elance, it's just a very cumbersome process. I think unnecessarily, and you know, I think people are a little more expensive on Elance. And Rent-A-Coder, though, it's great for those little $20 script installs, and you know, you can still get some great stuff done on Rent-A-Coder. And you know, they give you Scriptlance too. Same thing. Great. It's great for the more techie stuff. I wouldn't go with Scriptlance for writers or for graphic people, but for techie stuff, great stuff. It's good. And I go step by step. Just
Howard.
Huh? I've gone silent. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
I'm still here.
I can't hear you.
I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm still.
Everyone else can hear.
All right. You can't hear me? Shoot. Let's see. Yeah.
Hello? Can people hear me?
Hello?
Yes, I'm back again.
Okay.
Sorry for that.
All right. Well, so we're cool. All right.
Okay.
So,
Phone just cut out.
okay. Well, hear me now? Were you okay?
Yeah.
Well, slideshow. And oops. Well, here am I?
Which we had earlier on from Wendy, Howard, saying which of the sites is best for members providing and sticking to an accurate estimate for a job?
There's no such thing. When Rent-A-Coder, they'll even tell you that take your estimate and multiply it by 3 or 2 or 3. I think they have it now.
I remember reading that.
Because, because it's always, it's you can't really get an accurate estimate of how long your task is going to take, especially when you're on a fixed job rate. They agree to do a job and they do it and they may not finish it and they'll get to it another time. And, that's the other part of it too, is these people are constantly taking as many jobs as they can, so they're juggling your job with other jobs. That's why you want to build a team. You want to find the good people, and then you want to tie them up. You want to give them all your work, and then if you've got enough work and you're making enough money, then you can say, okay, I don't want you to take anybody else's job. I want you to give and get you can get them to do whatever you want. Get to and think you have something that's for you and money with too. Really, because it's going to set the cost that you're spending in the pocket. If you're sure this model and you're just hiring this and hiring people to do that, now you're not really on the model that you've got it to work, and you need to scale up it, and then you can build your team. You can just, there's some basic things that you need done. Like, for instance, a lot of these sites like Elance, Rent-A-Coder, Odesk, they have like a little project management built into it. So you can manage your projects via their site. Whereas if you're getting someone from the Philippines or a team of people that are not working off a platform like that, then you have to go with separate project management software. Or you can use things like Google Documents to collaborate on documents and put links to your training instructions and task training and communicate with them. I use Skype a lot for communicating. The later versions of Skype, the latest version, you can share your screen. That's really come in handy. You can put links in there, send files. You can do video conferencing. You can do text chat. So Skype is my communication tool of choice. Okay. Some of these project management software have on it the task dependencies. In other words, before you can get your article submitted to submit the article writer has to write the articles. So there's, if you have project templates, In other words, sort of a step-by-step laid out to accomplish a project, and there are certain steps that are dependent on a prior step being completed. So that's where project templates come in. You can just sort of dump a project template in your project management software, and everything is laid out in the order that it needs to be done at, and people are assigned. And if it's a recurring task, it shows up on the worker's calendar once a week, and it minimizes your micromanaging these people. Okay. So that's all. We're not going to get too crazy on the project management. It's pretty easy on the Odesk, as you can see, and they really give you some good tools to manage your people. So if you're using Odesk, you've got most of these issues handled. It's not too okay. Okay, and now I'm going to give you my biggest outsourcing secrets. And this goes back to what somebody had asked prior to the start of our webinar about having to create the training materials himself. Okay, and the thing is to use already existing tutorials to build your outsourcer's training library. And this may be the first time you've heard that phrase, outsourcer's training library, and it's basically just where I compile all the training materials for my outsourcers. If I get and here's the best places to find this training. A lot of products come with their tutorials. Like if you go to Aweber, they have a whole set of tutorials on how to use it. There's a lot of installation instruction guides, manuals that come with software or a particular program. Let's say you bought a program about a certain tactic, and they'll give you step-by-step training videos on how to do that. That you can hand off to your outsourcer, maybe augmented by certain specific instructions. Obviously, you need to give your URLs and your login information and any extra content that's required for this strategy or whatever. There's a lot of how-to courses out there. Lynda.com is the most popular one. Excuse me. And there are sites that like ehow.com or eCourse that have great tutorials on things. YouTube. If you need to, let's say, put a opt-in box on your Facebook page, you just type into YouTube, and a lot of times you'll come out with several choices of tutorials. Now, some of them are going to be crappy, and some of them are going to be good. You just sort of weed through, find a good one, keep the copy of that URL to that video, in a document that you can save. Now you're building your library of training materials that you can hand over to people. That's going to make it a lot easier. A lot of freelance launch content. If you've been following Howie Schwartz, he's got PDFs every week. He's got a guy he hires to create PDFs for him every week. So people open his email, they know they're going to get a PDF on one thing or another. And there was a time where he was giving out, oh, here's a new social media site, and he gives exact instructions how to post and all the the tweaks to make it work well, using keywords as the usernames, things like that. And a lot of products sometimes come with outsource guides. Again, going back to Howie Schwartz's Conversation Domination, that course there was a lot of busy work in there, and nobody would do that if they had to do it themselves. So he had outsourcer training guides that came along with this course to get the work done. Okay, and then again, there's other websites, even Google Learning Center for AdWords. There's a million courses on AdWords out there, but Google Learning Center has a really excellent AdWords course on there. So so you could take all these, and find these. Whenever you find a great tutorial on something, either, a lot of these private label rights products, sometimes, traffic tactics or whatever, you can buy these private label rights courses for very inexpensively, and now they are a part of your training library. You can hand these videos off to your outsourcers. So that's something I've been doing for years, and not many people necessarily think of it, but there's a lot of sources for this. There's actually, I have a thing of 17 different sources of it, and but these are the best ones. These are the easiest ones, and this will get you pretty far. And just like Alex said, you know, the outsourcing templates, that package, you know, I picked that up as well. It's a great tool to have, and you can always have you know, stuff like on the base FTP, how to install WordPress, things like that. There's a million places for that. And you know, here's some search modifiers that you can use in the search engines for finding these things on your own if it's not coming up right away. But this is other things that you can use to search. Again, you know, you can stop this slide on the replay and really copy all these down. But this is a great. You'll always find something. You know, sometimes in Slider.com or Scribe or, you know, something. You know, you can find PDFs and slides and stuff that are great tutorials. And you know, we talked about this too, with having a sort of a membership site to have and store all your outsourcer training materials. This way you can say, okay, here's this project, blah, blah, blah. Here's the links to the training. You know, go to this site and log in here, use this password, and access the training here. So it's a great way to train your guys and have training materials for them. Okay, and you know, I thought I changed that. Okay, so I've got the EasyOutsourceVideos.com. What I did was I sort of bundled my my two products together there, my two best products. And the Easy Outsource Videos talks about, just like I sort of showed you on the screen how I was doing my work. I do the same thing in Elance, Rent-A-Coder, Guru.com, Scriptlance, and I'm now editing the videos for Odesk, 99 Designs, and Amazon's MTurk. So this is going to be a great library of how-to for outsourcing. And I'm just talking here, and I'm making decisions, and I'm actually doing my projects. And, you know, of course, I edit it, so it's a nice, tight, little, concise package. And, you know, as you can see from my slide presentation, you know, some of it is PowerPoint, and I pack a lot of content in these things. And then the directory is an incredible resource. It's like every time I see a resource or a list or a resource guide or a list of stuff, I suck it up and put it into this directory. Like the Borg assimilates civilizations, I'm just sucking up all these resources and I'm sticking them in here. And so it's my own collection of resources in 130 top-level categories, whether it's graphics or affiliate networks or outsourcing traffic or whatever it is. I just made a directory. So this at Easy Outsource Videos for $147, but of course Alex, being the thrifty man he is, made me give his folks a deal, and so I made a separate page and I reduced the price for his for you guys on the call, and I'll leave it up over the weekend for the people who catch them on the replay, and you can have both for $97. And right now the Odesk 99 Designs, the ones in red, are not loaded in yet. Probably another week or so for me to finish editing those videos and putting them up into the site. So you're gonna, you know, this is this is a great sort of, you know, comprehensive outsourcing course, and I go through outsourcing websites, outsourcing articles, you know, how to get the project descriptions, because the project descriptions, that's an important part of it, because, you know, the more detailed your project description is, the smoother it's going to go. If you just say, build me a website, and this is an extreme example, of course, there's so many different ways to do it that you couldn't possibly get what you had in your mind. You have to detail, you know, is it going to be for sale, for e-commerce, is it a squeeze page, is it what kind of colors, what kind of theme, what kind of feel, you know, all the details that you need, and all that's going to make a big difference in how smooth your outsourcing goes. So that is what I got. Any other questions?
Thank you so much for that. That was, and I can see from some of the comments that you really opened people's eyes. You certainly opened my eyes and can see possibilities, all sorts of possibilities of how we can use this stuff. So that's excellent. Thank you so much.
Sure.
A some questions we have here from April. Hope they're available separately because she already has the Ultimate Outsource directory.
Email me and I'll give it, make up the difference for you.
Okay. So April, you can get, you know how to get hold of Howard, so.
Yeah, I think she's emailed me before.
That's fine.
Or maybe, but yeah, my email is IamOutsourced@gmail.com.
We can make sure that's in the. I'll add that to the contact detail to the email that will go out to people with the resources.
Okay, cool.
Dave says, awesome webinar. Thanks to me and Howard. Well, I think I did a great job of hosting, but I think Howard did the main bulk of the work, so the real thanks go to him.
Hey, and I got some work done too.
Yes, I think you should reduce your fee a little bit for because you actually worked on the job. That's it for the questions. We had one which I didn't quite understand from Tom. He'd be more comfortable paying for the job and getting bids on it. Does Odesk do this?
Ask the question again.
Okay. He says he'd be more comfortable paying for the job and getting bids on it.
Well, what they do is they they have you. They'll have you, if it's by the hour, then what happens is the outsourcers just do the work, and then at the end of the week, excuse me, at the end of the week they invoice you and they charge your card.
Yeah, saying it's different from hourly. Yes.
The fixed jobs, I think you have to put for fixed jobs. I think you have to if they don't have your credit card, you got to first put your credit card, get your credit card verified. They all do this. Elance, Rent-A-Coder, they all do this. They verify that your card is good, that you're a real person. Blah blah.
I think it's just you can do fixed price jobs. You can get price bids, Tom. That's the point.
Yeah, I did. Right. The project I just posted now was a fixed bid project. Now, when you do the fixed bid, you don't get the work diary. You don't get the screenshots. That's only for hourly.
Okay. Any more questions, anybody? No, I think you've given us all to go away and think about. Here that Howie and other people are providing outsourcing templates with products. I think it's a real sign of the maturity of the market that's happening.
Yeah.
Really, really good. It sort of means that internet marketing is growing up into a business, which sort of links into the webinar I gave yesterday. At least in areas. A lot of it is still in its childhood, but there are groups of people who obviously have matured.
Yeah, once you've been doing it a long enough time, you start seeing what you're good at, what you don't like, where you're getting stuck, and those are the places to start freelancing. I mean, it's really not hard at all. And if you're getting jobs for $20 or $50 or whatever it is, if you screw up, so what? It's not a big deal, and it's really cool when you start getting 10, 20 people that they're just dying to do your job for you. It's like great. The benefit when you're talking about time zones, and if you deal with the Philippines that are on an opposite schedule, is you can have people that are on your schedule for certain tasks, and then that you've got on autopilot or whatever, that you put your task in at the end of the day, and you wake up the next morning and your job's done.
Mm.
That's a great feeling. You had it done while you're sleeping.
Okay.
Worth $20.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so.
We need to close soon, but we've got a last quick question from Marvin. Could you say a little bit about 99 Designs?
Yeah. It's based on a concept called crowdsourcing, and that's an even cooler concept that is now bleeding over into other areas. But for graphics, it's awesome because, you know, a lot of times, you know, you hire a graphic artist and you got one person's concept of what your logo should be or your banner should be, and, you know, maybe you get a few variations on the one concept, but with 99 Designs, you're making a contest, and you put in your price ahead of time. You're guaranteeing that you're gonna. Well, you can guarantee that someone will get it, or you don't have to guarantee that someone will win. But you put up, let's say, a couple $100 to do a logo, and then designers will see what your job description is and your thing, and you could have 10, 20 designers create their idea of what your logo should be, and you'll see a whole range of different concepts. You know that some will catch your eye, and some you don't want right offhand, but you'll get a much broader choice of concepts and designs, and then you could take something that's maybe the closest, and then have them tweak it to perfection, and it's just a great way of getting graphics done on 99 Designs.
That's amazing, Doctor. Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's some. If you put like $1,000 to get a logo done, then you could get like 1,000 different entries.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will do 3 or 4 entries, but you'll get an incredible amount of entries. The more money you put up, they all want to do your project, and if you guarantee that someone will win this project, now it's much more of an incentive for them to jump in and try and be the winner. And there's all kinds of nuances too on how to work the site and how to work to get the best results. And I cover that in my videos. But it's an awesome way for graphics, and especially for logos. You can get such a wide range of concepts. So definitely poke around there, and a lot of these contests are open to public view, so you could just go in there and see what's doing, and you'll be amazed.
Well, thank you so much again, Howard. Excellent. A lot of people making some good comments about the presentation, so it's gone down very well. Thanks again, folks. Do check out Howard's excellent offer. It looks like superb value here, and just to build on what we've learned today, this will be able to take our businesses forward and, as advertised, take business to the next level, which is what it's all about.
Right.
So, thanks very much, everybody. Hope to see you at a future webinar. Thanks again, Howard, and we will, of course, be in touch.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, everybody. See you on the other side now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.